everyone, and welcome to Are We Doing This? I'm Lauren Parajon.
And I'm Lauren Butler.
We're two millennial moms on the brink of 40, looking for new ways to shake things up.
We're here to challenge ourselves, each other, and you to get out of our comfort zones and try something new.
So if you've caught yourself wondering, what's next? You're in the right spot.
So are we doing this?
Looks like it. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, it's episode 21, and I apologize ahead of time. I am 2 bottles of wine deep, not myself, but with 2 other, my sister and a friend. So, and I did cry, wheeze, laugh for the first 20 minutes, so that might make a blooper reel, but I'm here. It is almost 10 p.m. It's a Tuesday night. We're here. We're doing this. So how's it going, Lauren?
Lauren has only been slightly overserved this evening.
Oh my God. Overserved and overwhelmed. Like I tried to log, like my computer's only at like 17% battery because my son keeps using it. My phone is at like 18% battery, but I don't have enough plugs to plug everything in. So I'm blurry, not because I've been drinking, but also because I've been drinking, but also like I have to use my webcam instead of my phone camera. So
your camera is also blurry.
Correct. So.
Yeah, it's okay though. We're doing it. We're here.
We're doing it. We're here. Cheers.
This is the challenge of summer podcasting schedules.
Seriously.
We have kids home all day.
They're home all day.
Yeah.
It's like
it's
they're
weird.
always here.
They don't ever leave.
My goodness. It's like they live here.
I know. It's like, don't you guys ever go do anything?
Right.
No, I'm just kidding.
To be fair, we did do a lot today, but still.
Yes.
Yeah. How's it been? Your daughter learned how to ride a bike. That's so exciting.
Yes. Yeah. We had a really, really fun day because Elliot's doing, she's our 7-year-old and she's doing bike camp this week. And today was only day 2.
Wait,
she did. Yes.
Oh
so
my
like we, for the longest time, have had the hardest time teaching her because she just gets really overwhelmed and she gets really emotional. And then like, she doesn't want to listen to what we have to say, and it just like never. It just falls apart so quickly.
Well, I've always heard of people like hiring people to teach their kids because the kids won't listen to them. I'm like, that makes so much sense.
And Zach and I fight about it because we argue about like who's better at teaching her and whatever.
Well, because you are bikers, like Zach is
we're bikers,
cyclist.
Like, yes, Zach is like a asterisk cyclist, and I ride bikes, but I'm not a cyclist. But like. So maybe there's like added pressure because of that or something. Yeah, I don't know. But for whatever reason, it was just never working. And then like the way he would approach it and the way I would approach it were different. And so that would be like tense. And it just like, she always melted down. And I was like, I just feel like we need a third party in this situation. Yeah. And so, we signed her up for this bike camp that we heard awesome things about. And she's in like level 1, which is literally the whole point is like just to get you off training wheels. And she actually rode for like a second on her own yesterday. So when I picked her up, she was just like glowing. And she's like, Mom, I did it. It was so cool.
So
and then today she was like really riding and she was like showing off. And even tonight after dinner, she was like, can I go out and show you one more time? And of course, Zach was like, yes. So we went out and she just like rode up and down the street over and over and over. It was very
Isn't it cool? Like once they get it, they can just do it. It's like,
they can just, it was amazing. So yes. Zach was like, who is this child? Like she was just riding, right? She was turning, she was skidding. Yeah. She like skidded out once. I was like, what the hell? So anyway, big day in the Butler house.
Exactly. That's a good, I mean, congrats. That's awesome.
I know. And I'm excited for her to like be able to participate a little bit more with like our neighbor kids. They're all pretty good riders and she's just like not, and it's always awkward. And so I'm excited about that. And now I got to figure out like how far I'm comfortable letting her ride. I'm already anticipating that because she's going to want to like go. Yeah. But yeah, super proud of her. She was like really nervous about it and she did it. So that's awesome.
That's awesome.
It's so cool.
That camp already paid off.
I know. Right. And she's got 3 more days. So maybe she'll get some mad skills, more mad skills.
Really lucky with my kids had the Strider bikes, like the ones where they just ran with the bike. Yeah. And then I put the pedals on the Strider bike and they just pedaled. And I was like,
took off.
Oh, like I didn't have to teach them because
that's amazing.
My daughter took a little bit longer to like, I was like, I don't want to bend over and hold this seat. So like I saw a hack on TikTok that was like put a towel under their arms and stand behind him with a towel. I tried that and then I was just like frustrated with her. So I was like, you'll get it when you get it. And then she just started doing it like without any help. And then I realized she was only 4.5 when she learned. And I was like, that's awesome. Really young because my son learned about 5. And so my husband and I keep talking about how we like kind of forget she's only 5. Like
I know it's the second kid thing.
Enormous and the second kid. Like
she just figures stuff out.
She's basically taller than my son now. Like or they're the exact same height, but like And so we were like, she's 5, like, because sometimes we yell at her, like, what's your problem? Like, and I'm like, oh, she's 5. Like,
expect her to be older.
Yeah, we do a lot. And it's just funny because, and like, she's a little clumsy, and granted, I am too. But I'm like, I'm like, oh, she's 5. I just remember this. Like,
you have to, like, remember.
Because I see my son play soccer and I see her play soccer, and I'm like, what aren't you grasping? And I'm like, oh, he was actually not good either at that age. I just have to remember. It's just a parent thing. I just need to remember that.
No, totally.
There's 2.5 years between them.
Totally. I mean, I think that's why second kids are the way they are.
I mean, I'm a second kid, so I believe that.
And my son was the same way. He did a lot better on the balance bike, but Elliot never really took to the balance bike. And I don't know, it just like didn't work out for her. But he's better on the balance bike, on the Strider. So I think I might try to put pedals on that for
do that
for him to see if that works.
Just grasp it.
Yeah. So we'll see. Hopefully he's quicker to take it on. But yeah, so she is doing it, which is awesome. So yeah.
That is awesome. Very cool.
Other than that,
Elliot.
good job, Elliot.
Yeah.
Other than that, we had a big birthday last week. My son turned 4, so now I have a 7 and a 4-year-old. Yes, 4 feels like that first big age where you're like, okay, you're like out of baby toddler. Like, you know, you're starting to really get into like kid territory.
Yeah.
So that was good. We had planned an outside party on the June 20th here in Portland, which I thought would be plenty safe. And it was like raining and cold, of course. And I planned a splash pad party. So
talk to me about the cake. What was the cake? I need to know.
You're going to be so ashamed.
No, I'm not ashamed. I'm like all about a Sam's Club, cupcake. Like,
I didn't even do that. I ordered, which grocery store? I ordered grocery store cupcakes.
Those are fine. Those are fine. Sorry. I'm not judging you. At all.
You know what? I'm just like, it's fine. It is what it is. When they get a little older and they care more,
put your effort into something else.
More effort.
Like, yeah. Like kid loves a cupcake, whether it's like homemade or just like store bought. They don't care.
They just like smash it. But I think now that even Elliot, I think now like we can start doing cooler cakes, and I think she'll appreciate it. But yeah, we just did cupcakes, and I put little Swedish fish in them because it was we had a light ocean animal, shark, oceany theme, kind of. Yeah. So we did that a little bit, but it was good. Exciting. It was awesome, except for the fact that it was cold. God bless all the parents. Shout out to bringing your kids and letting them get. A lot of them didn't bring like swimsuits because they were like, it's cold. But then all the kids wanted to get in the splash pad. So like half the kids, moms were like, yelling at them. They were like, I don't have a dry change of clothes for you, Ethan. And they were like in the splash pad, like drenched. And it was like 59 degrees. And I was like, I'm sorry.
That's
Thanks for coming. Here's your goodie bag.
Thanks for coming. Here's your goodie bag, and you're sopping wet child. Shove that back in your minivan and take it out.
Right. Good luck.
Oh, no.
Anyway,
I'm sure Crosby had a blast.
He did not care even a little bit that it was cold. He was like drenched and so happy. So that's what matters. And thankfully, everybody was a good sport. So anyway, it was a good week. How about you? What have you been up to?
I don't know.
Other than going out.
I know. Today, Woo! It's only Tuesday. It's fine. I think I was like, what did we even do this past weekend? We did go paddleboarding. We bought paddleboards like right after we moved here to Colorado. So we were like, we live right by this reservoir. We should probably take advantage of it. So we did like a sunset paddleboard with 2 other families. So we took all the kids and just like paddled out and had dinner. We brought like sandwiches and stuff and just like did it and watched the sunset. And I was like, wait, it's so pretty.
Do you eat on the paddleboards?
Yeah. We just had like
paddleboard
sandwiches.
Picnic?
Yeah, paddleboard picnic. Cute. And it was super cute. And the kids swam and that was fun. And then aside from that, today we let my daughter get bangs, which was a choice. She was like, I want bangs. And I'm like, look, they're cute for a second. And tomorrow when you wake up, they're going to look interesting. And so we let her do it. And they're so cute on her. I'm kind of obsessed with them. But she looks so much older. It's freaking me out.
Really?
And then my sister was here. We let my niece and my daughter got haircuts together. And we bought some purple hair dye and let them dye just a little piece of their hair. So they had a good time. But yeah, nothing else really. We're just like, my sister and I are just tag teaming summer, taking each other's kids.
Yeah.
And, we're getting through it. We're surviving. And so it's only Tuesday, but yeah, we're getting there.
Nice. Are you gym pooling a lot? We did the gym pool today also. I know you said you were going to. Nice.
We did, yeah. We went to we usually do a workout kickboxing class on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And in the middle of the night, my daughter ended up in my bed, and she was like, I had a nightmare. I was like, just get in the bed. And usually I can fall back to sleep, but I just couldn't last night. And so I finally fell back asleep probably around 6 in the morning. She probably got in bed around 2 or something.
Okay.
Around 6, I fell back asleep. So then I slept until 8:30 and texted my sister, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to make it to kickboxing. But we went anyway, and we did bench press and like squats and just random stuff.
Yeah.
But we got our workout in. But that's brings me to a confession I have to make.
Uh-oh. Okay.
So this you look so worried.
You didn't do your challenge?
My challenge for this past month was wall Pilates. Okay. And so today is actually only it was a 28-day challenge, but we started it on the first. So today's actually only day 24.
Yeah.
We still have 4 more days technically.
That's true.
Because of the day Anyway. So here's what I'll say. I have not skipped a day of physical activity. Okay.
Yes.
But on the days that I did do kickboxing or paddleboarding or a bike ride to Old Town, I did not do my wall Pilates. And I feel very guilty about it. But
you shouldn't though. I mean,
did something.
You still did something.
I did a 24-day physical activity challenge.
Yeah.
Which was the overall goal. It was just to move my body every day. Totally. But I did feel like I was cheating on those days that I didn't.
Okay. So I similarly
tell
cheated.
me. What'd you do? Confess.
Okay, I did the same
We
thing.
need a shame bell.
The shame bell. A few of my workouts I like over delivered. Because, so my challenge as a recap it was kind of an AI created, like, are we moving this daily movement challenge that was supposed to be like really easy. Like easy stuff you can do, but fun and like versatile. And so versatile, that was weird the way I said that. I don't know. And so like the first one was like 10-minute outside walk. And I walked for 30 minutes and I was like, ooh, I'm over delivering, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it was still just like a walk or like a 5-minute yoga flow. And I did like 10 and then I was like, whoo, which is not really that impressive. But then I would like skip the next day. Or if I did, I've been going to Pilates a little bit. So I kind of did the same thing. Like a day that I went to Pilates, I was like, well, I worked out. I did more than like this plan. So I felt okay about it.
Yeah.
I missed 2 days with no good excuses.
Okay.
One was when our friends we had some friends in town. And so, I don't know, when we're hosting and we were like taking them out, we were doing a lot of stuff.
You didn't want to excuse me. I need to do my calf raises.
Excuse me. I need to do my 5 squats. I mean, granted, some of the stuff is so quick and easy. Even that isn't a great excuse. I could just like excuse myself and go do something, but I didn't. I'll admit it. But I did pretty good overall.
Yeah. No, I'm proud of us.
Yeah.
Like, we moved our bodies for at least 20 of 24 days so far.
Totally.
Whatever. I
just feel like since I will say, I feel like since some of my workouts I did more.
Right. I feel like
in my mind, what I want to say is it balances out, it averages out. But I will antagonize myself to say like the whole point though is frequency. Was like
I know.
And to not be like, well, I'm going to go to the gym and work out for like hard, like I do a lot. My point was,
but a combination of that.
Often.
I think balance is what we need to find. Okay, I think we're going to learn that. I think we've already learned that in this. Yeah. In this, how long have we been doing this podcast? 4 months already.
Yeah, we started in like, was it February, March?
Wow. In the 4 months we've been doing this, I think we've already learned like balance, right? Like. Yeah. Like, we've even been like, hey, we're not even going to podcast in today. We're going to have to move it to tomorrow because, like, we have lives and balance. And so I think it's fine. Yeah. We're moving our bodies. Like you said, like, I would do, like, a 1-hour kickboxing class, which is obviously much more work than a 12-minute wall Pilates.
Right.
Also, I know I talked about this before, but I had so many qualms with that app. Like, I was so mad at that. Yeah. I just do not recommend the Better Me wall Pilates app. So if you want to do wall Pilates, pick a different one because that was
something else.
There were times where it was like keep your back leg completely straight, but the model that's doing it is bent at a complete 90 degrees. And I'm like, is no one like
quality checking
like whose job was this? Like, I don't understand. Do I follow the model or the words? And so I was very angry at the app, and I think that made me like, I'm not doing it today because I'm mad at it. So
yeah, you started getting like cranky with it.
Yeah. So
come on, Better Me, do better.
I know it was so annoying. So
I will say it got me into my challenge. I feel like a big takeaway was like it got me into a mindset more of trying to like just build more activity into like things I'm already doing, like more movement
Yeah.
into things I'm already doing. So like,
Yeah.
cheesy shit like doing calf raises while you're brushing your teeth and
Yeah.
parking farther away or like taking the
Oh.
stairs. I know that stuff is like lame sometimes, but I don't know. It
Yeah.
all kind of adds up. Or like if you're doing a phone call, if you're calling somebody, which I don't do that often anyway, but if I
Yeah.
am, like do it walking.
Hmm.
I don't know, stuff like that. I could
Yeah.
definitely be better about it for sure.
It's just like some day, like, I don't know. Some days I was just like, all right, I'm just going to do the wall Pilates because I just literally can't get out of the house to do anything else.
Yeah.
I think the harder part for me too is like when I'm doing cakes, I'm on my feet the entire day.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah, that's a
second,
good point.
because the whole day is spent on my feet. And then it's
Yeah.
like my back hurts, my feet
Yeah.
hurt. My sister's like, you've got to buy a pair of Crocs. Like if you think about the people who
Yeah.
stand all day, like dentists and people who work at hospitals, they
Yes.
all wear Crocs. And I don't know why I'm such a snob, but I've always been like, I will never buy a pair of Crocs. And I
Yeah.
will never buy my kids Crocs. Like I just hated them for some reason. And then 2 weeks ago, my sister was like, all right, well, when they're in camp, it just says closed-toed
Yeah.
shoes, but they also have water days, so you're going to want Crocs. And so I finally bought my kids
Yeah.
each a pair of Crocs. And then, like, literally the next day or 2 days later, we were in Red Feather at the cabin, and my friend Stephanie and I were just like chatting with this guy next to us. He was like, oh, I work for Crocs. Download this, you scan this code, and you can get 50% off all your Crocs. And I was like, are you kidding me?
Oh,
I just bought Crocs.
I just
So
bought these.
now I have a code to buy a pair of Crocs.
Do
I did
it.
log in and I looked and I got overwhelmed and I left the site because I was like,
They make
there's
some that
9
aren't
billion
like
kinds.
awful though.
But why are there so many?
Why?
I can't pick
But
one.
I don't know that they're all equally supportive though. Like whatever ones nurses wear, I don't think
Yeah.
are like every style of Crocs.
Well, I need that one, but it's not called Nurse Crocs. I don't know what they are.
I need nurse Crocs.
But I want them to be white with like sprinkles on them. Is that bad?
Oh, cute. Like
I
Baker
don't think
Crocs.
anyone makes those. Yeah, I want Baker Crocs.
I don't know. They make a lot of Crocs.
I'm gonna start my own Croc line of Baker Crocs.
Ooh.
And you get little cupcake things to stick in them. And
Oh, the
holes.
little
What are they called?
Croc charms,
Yeah.
gibbets. Is gibbets a thing?
I don't
Did I
know.
just
I know
make
what
that word
is.
up? Anyway,
Giblets?
yeah, my giblets. My kids have been in Crocs for a while. I discovered them for kids early, and I'm like, oh, these
Don't
are
know why.
genius.
Now
'Cause
I
you can get
love
wet.
them. You
Yeah,
get them
they're-
wet.
They can slip
They
them
wore
on.
them in the lake to go
Yes,
paddleboarding.
totally.
It's
They can slip
amazing.
them on with like no problems. It's
Yeah.
great. I'm like, oh,
It's
I'm
wild.
pro Crocs. The only hard thing is that sometimes when they really run in them, they can like eat it hard.
Yeah,
Or maybe
there's
that's just my
that.
son.
No, I think that's actually because Havana has fallen multiple times
Yeah.
since we bought the Crocs. So
Yeah, there's that.
they're clumsy, but
So I guess that's our challenge recap, right?
yeah, like we did it, most of it.
Yeah.
And my recap is don't use that app, but wall Pilates is fun.
Okay, but you did like the wall Pilates. I want to hear more about that.
did.
Were you like surprised?
No, I did. There were some where you really have to like get your feet up on that wall. Like there were, I was like,
Get your
oh, this
feet
is
up on that
actually like a challenge. And some were just like
Yeah.
stretches. So like it was a good
Yeah.
combination of like core strength and just flexibility and mobility. So
Okay.
I do recommend it. I don't think I would ever do it like every day as that's my only workout, even though like some of them got up to like 20, I think 24 minutes was the longest one I did.
Okay.
So like that got kind of long because I was like, oh, I was loving
Yeah.
these 13-minute ones. This feels
Yeah.
like a lot more of a commitment. But the only thing I'll say is like some of the days I felt like I didn't have a workout, like because you don't. Some of the
yeah.
days since they were more stretchy, I didn't get like sweaty and I didn't feel like
Yeah.
I got a full workout in. But so I would never do it as my only workout. But it was good to add to whatever else I was doing.
Yeah.
So I recommend
Okay.
it. It was fun on TikTok. There's a lot of I see so many ads for. I think it is that app. It's Better Me, but it comes with like all these equipment things, like a ball and like a thing you put
Oh,
between your
yeah.
knees that you squeeze.
Yeah.
So maybe with equipment, it's a little more of
Yeah.
a workout. But
Have you ever done a reformer class before?
I have not, and now I want to. I really do
You
want
should
to.
try it. You might like
Yeah.
it. It's really fun.
I should see if my gym does them.
Yeah.
I'll have to
It's
look
really
into that.
annoying though because they're always expensive. At least everywhere
Well-
I've ever looked for them. Even at like gyms where like the 2 gyms I've been a member of here at least, you have to also pay extra for Pilates.
Oh,
It's like
really?
very annoying, yeah. So you
Ours,
should look into it. Maybe
you have to pay extra for tennis,
not.
but I don't think you have to pay for Pilates. So maybe they don't even have Pilates. So I do not know. It'd be
That could
good
be
to
why.
find out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so you liked it. It was good. Do you feel like it I feel like it did help me like kickstart just like trying to get
Yeah.
back in the habit.
Well, because
which
I
was
had
where
been
I
out
was
of
before.
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
been out of the habit for I feel like the whole year so far. So,
Yeah.
and also the good things, I know I was saying before that like being keto, I don't have as much energy, so I don't have as many carbs to
Yeah.
like fuel me. So the wall Pilates was less daunting. I was like, all right, I can do this
Yeah.
despite my energy level. Like I felt like it was very just
Doable.
manageable and like not, I felt like it was accessible. So,
Yeah.
um, I enjoyed that. So yeah, I agree that it did make me more aware and more like motivated
Yeah.
to do something. So I do feel like I'm back in it. And like my sister and I used to go to that kickboxing class every Tuesday, Thursday, and then we fell
Yeah.
off the wagon for a couple months. But now I've been back in it. So I've been this past month I think we went to maybe 5 classes. So like we're
Yeah.
kind of getting back into the swing of it. So I think that's helping. But do you
Nice.
feel like it makes you want to like join a like get back into
I
like a
mean,
regular workout?
maybe. I think part of a few of mine were like dance breaks or like funny things or like jumping rope or like
Yeah.
stuff like that. And I think it also made me feel like, man, working out for me is never like fun anymore.
Yeah.
Like it's like
No,
go
it's
to the
not anymore.
gym, work out,
Yeah.
or do a class or whatever. But I was like, oh, this is
Hmm.
fun. Like
Yeah.
to be silly or just to like dance or, whatever it is. And so
Yeah.
it did make me kind of be like, oh, like, is there a way to do more active stuff and more movement that is fun and
Yeah.
silly, even if it's just like dancing with my kids or
Right.
something.
Have you ever tried
Or
a
maybe dance
dance kickbox
classes.
class? Have you ever done like dance
No.
kickbox?
What's
Because it
dance?
adds that good
Well,
like
it's like what you were doing. Yeah.
yeah, it's what but yeah, but it just like is fun because it's dancey, but like you don't have to be coordinated because
Yeah.
I cannot follow a choreography to save my life. Like
It's hard.
there,
Yeah.
I just so that's why dance classes are not fun for me. Like I tried Zumba, I tried like hip hop dance, and I've tried even step. I can't even do step like
Yeah.
aerobic step because like it's like
Oh, it's
it's
hard.
a
I've done
lot
some
of
aerobics classes
choreography.
where it's like, oh God, I can't. My
Yeah.
feet.
And I was
It's a lot.
like, everyone here's 85 and I'm the worst one. Like there's something like inherently in my body that I can't follow choreography to save my life.
It's hard.
So, but like kickboxing dance is like all like, oh, it's like so empowering to just like
Yeah.
throw punches and kicks and like make the sounds and like, I don't know. And then to also add some hip movement and and
Yeah.
just like good music.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I love that. And I wish more gyms offered it. So
Yeah.
I think you'd enjoy it. It's really fun.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I can find something like that. Because I think if it was
Yeah,
just
usually
more
it'll be called like
fun.
cardio kickbox is kind of,
Yeah. Okay.
but not many have dance kickboxing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, stuff like that I think would be good for me and just
Yeah.
help make it feel more fun. I don't know.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I
so
agree.
that's good.
Well, because I was playing softball every Tuesday, right when we moved here.
Yeah.
We joined a softball league, so I played a few leagues, and then this past season we were like, hey, like we're getting injuries to the point where like
Yeah.
we're old, right? Like, so we just took this season off. We're like, maybe we're more of like a trivia team at this point, right? Because like
Yeah.
we need kind of like a lower impact
Yeah.
problem. But
Well,
I was having fun. Like that's
yes.
fun, and you don't
Well,
feel
that-
like you're working out. But
That's the other thing I was going to say, or like sports, like legit, like go play a game or something where you're focused on the game and you're having
Right.
fun with friends and it's social, but you're not like going to a gym and just like lifting
Right.
weights, which,
Yeah.
we still need to be doing that too. But,
right.
yeah, and pickleball, I was playing a little bit. And so I might get back into that, but it's like
Yeah.
classic. It's kind of like golf where like it's as athletic as you can. I mean, because
Right,
you can
yeah.
golf pretty unathletically, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's kind of like that maybe. Okay, I say that, but I've never played golf, so I don't know. But that's what I imagine. But
Right.
it's not like super active, but it can be, especially if you're
Yeah.
playing like a lot and you're playing at a higher level. So I think I could maybe just get more into that, and that could be good for me. Maybe.
But how would you manage? Well, I guess
I don't
your
know.
gym has daycare. Does your gym have pickleball?
My gym does have pickleball sometimes.
Okay.
I actually need to look into that because I knew about that when I signed up. But yeah, I haven't actually done it yet. And they do have
Yeah.
daycare. So maybe I could do that. That'd be good.
That's the hard part. Is like you have to find a way to do it while all the kids are
Yeah.
at home.
But
Because then
like
I have
the-
also the guilt of like I'm throwing them in daycare just so I can
go
get a
do a
workout in.
thing.
But like,
Right.
but then I take them to the pool. So I don't know.
That's important.
Obviously, mom guilt. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Well, the Hubs he
Yeah.
plays tennis, he
bikes.
plays basketball
Yeah.
during the work week, and he has the luxury of being able to do it at work, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But it
that's
is like,
when do I get to do it?
yeah, but like it's like protected time
Right,
when somebody
'cause
works in
you're at
an
work.
office
Yeah.
9 to 5, and then there's like
Yeah.
all these things you fit in during the day, like a lunch workout or a lunch game or like
Yeah.
meeting somebody. I'm like, that's nice. I mean, it's not his fault, but I'm like, that's
right.
nice because I don't have
Yeah.
like this protected amount of time that I can just fit other things in guilt-free, you know?
That's hard.
Yeah. But, you know, it is what it is. It's fine.
Well, it's
but
like even just in general, like how a guy can, well, people who work in offices, I should not say a guy. Anyone who works in an office, you can go to a doctor's appointment, right?
That
you can make
too.
it any time during the day.
Yes.
You just go. But like if we work from home, we have the kids home. We can't just, I have to wait to do my doctor's appointments like either when he's off work or like find someone to watch them, which is the thing.
I know. So, I made a hair appointment for next week, and it's like on a Tuesday at 11:30, and I just wasn't thinking because it's like I made it before it was summer, I think, and I just wasn't thinking about it, and I was like, oh shoot, and then like he's not available to work from home that day, and I was like, I'm gonna have to get a babysitter to go get my hair cut, like
and then it gets so much more expensive.
Yes,
because haircuts, you know, a good one takes a couple hours.
Yes. Anyway.
Annoying.
But yeah, that is an interesting thing, like this unspoken thing of like if you go to work in an office all day, how it feels like your day is more protected, and because you can steal that time from your employer, but you can't steal it from your kids. You can't be like, hey guys, I'm just gonna slip out real quick and go
slip out for 2 hours
to the pharmacy, or I'm gonna just go work out real quick.
Yeah.
So anyway. That's good.
Fine. It's good. We're fine. It's all fine. Oh my gosh.
So should we talk about our new challenges?
Yes. I want to hear about yours. Because you sprung this on me yesterday. Like I had no idea what you were going to do. I don't know if you knew what you were going to do. But then yesterday, here's my new one. And I'm like, holy shit, let's talk about it.
Yeah, it's a big one. Okay, so I was thinking about challenges and I was like, what the heck do I want to do next? And I didn't want to like add something on just to do something. Right. And maybe it's a good time to refresh the whole like original purpose of our challenges for all of our listeners. I say that every time because I don't think we have that many listeners, but I'll tell my mom again that, the whole idea was like, we wanted to find kind of a third way to do life as a mom who still wants to do something to challenge our brains and like professionally, but also wants flexibility to be at home. But we're also kind of sick of the careers we've been in forever and ever. And so we want to find some hybrid balance solution to solve like all those needs. And then also just to address like turning 40 and getting older and feeling like our bodies are starting to fall apart in whole new ways that are fun and exciting and surprising every day. And our kids are getting older, and just all of those different intersections of like, okay, can we take this opportunity to kind of experiment with just trying different things, whether it's like a new way to work, a new way to find balance, like we were talking about, I guess. Is that, did I say that right?
Yeah. Well, and anyway, like I know before we were like tapping into old hobbies. To see if that's still an interest. But I know like, and it's kind of dependent on what the need is currently. So like, obviously mine, I know like I was trying to monetize everything in the beginning of this because like I didn't have a job. I was urgently needing money. And so like, now I have a little more like, all right, well, at least I know the cakes will bring in some form of income. So now I can try something else. Whereas I think right now you're in that position I was in where you're like, all right, I need to find something money wise. So like, talk about what you've decided for your challenge.
Sorry. So yes. You're good. But same thing. And I was doing like more creative challenges because I had more bandwidth at that time. And I also was like feeling like I was missing that part of myself. But now I'm kind of getting up against like, okay, we took our kids out of school or out of preschool for the summer to save some money. And we're going into fall. We're definitely in the situation where we're like, okay, my work is slowed down, my contract marketing work, that we really need to find something different, just something that pays more, frankly. And that I won't hate doing. And that is not full time. And that's surprisingly hard to find. Remember, like we were talking about this and we were like, it's so hard. It's got to exist, right? But like, it's shockingly difficult. If anybody knows any great ones. Anyway, so then I got to thinking like, well, as I was talking with Zach and we were talking more about it, and it was kind of like, well, maybe this is a time to investigate. There have been recent phases too where I'm like, maybe I just want to do something totally different. Like I've done marketing for so long. I'm kind of burnt out on it. I'm burnt out on like digital and social. Like I'm getting to that point where I feel
that so much.
And even just like reading industry news about it and stuff, I don't care.
There's no excitement anymore. I know. That's why I'm like,
but like, it's just not,
like, I still need clients, but
it's just not as interesting to me, and it's just hard to find a niche in it that I feel like I'm really providing something. And just anyway, it's just for lots of reasons. And so it got me thinking more about like, well, what would I really want to do and what would I be fulfilled doing? And reflecting on that and thinking about it, I've always been kind of interested in either like coaching or being a therapist or like a counselor type role, or like maybe like a coach, like a career coach or a life coach or something like that. Life coach feels a little, I don't know, but like something in that realm, or maybe like a facilitator. Like I've had friends who do like culture or leadership development, like facilitation in their workplaces, and they're like, oh, I could totally see you doing that, you know? So like developing people or coaching people or counseling people. So I kind of keep coming back to that. And in the past, I've been a little scared off by like all of the licensing that would have to come with that. And I'm like, well, I can't be a therapist. I'm not going to go back to school to get like my master's degree in social work or something. Like that's so, I need to make money. I don't need to go pay tuition to get a degree. And like, I'm not going to go get this expensive degree or go back to school or get really expensive certifications. But then I'm like, well, like if it's really what I want to do though, and I could start small with it and then like investigate if it's something, you know, take smaller steps to figure out and like kind of try it on. Maybe it's a path I could investigate and entertain. And again, like the hubs recently just gave me a little encouragement of kind of like, okay, summer's here. By fall, like coming up on the end of the year, we probably need to start thinking about, like we agreed that I need to start doing something. And it's like, well, maybe this is the time to think about that. If you want to make a change, like maybe. And so I think just having his little bit of support too, frankly, of like, if you wanted to go explore something like that, like you could do that now. And I was like, oh, really? Like, because that might be interesting. Well, that's the other thing. And then I'm like well, okay, so how am I going to go about like researching and thinking about a career change? And I'm full-time childcare right now in summer mode. So there's that. But I don't know. I have a lot of weird emotions about it. I'm like, I feel definitely a little like a fraud or like imposter syndrome. Like, who do you think you are? Like, what? You're not gonna. I don't know. It just feels like a lot.
Wait. So before we were talking about like, you know, I know in this podcast before we talked a lot about perimenopause and just the big changes in our bodies that are happening. But and remember we were looking into like, are there like menopause doctors or like, you know, like we said, a midwife. But then we started researching, we're like, oh, there are technically certified menopause coaches or menopause people. Was that an interest to you? Because like, if you could go after really that certification, you could help the rest of us. Word one stone. Just
become the support you need.
Yes, exactly. So is it more in that realm, or you're looking more like life, career,
like anything in the like anything anything that goes medical intimidates me, and I'm not that interested in. Okay, but I've always been into therapy. I've always been into like self-development and self-betterment, and like I feel like I'm pretty emotionally intelligent and like empathetic with people. Do you think?
Oh, definitely.
And like I've taken a lot of self-assessments, like strengths finders and stuff, and even like being a developer like comes up as one of my big strengths, like developing other people and like being a good communicator and like being, you know, all of that. So I don't know. Do you think I would be good at that?
I do. I mean, I definitely think you're good at like listening to a problem, then
being a good listener,
the problem then like reiterating, I feel like you're saying this and this is what I'm hearing, and like I think you're a lot better at that and giving like very useful feedback. You've always been really good at that in a way that I've never been. So like I think you would be I think you'd be really good at that. Like if I have an issue, I would go to you, like, let's talk about this or whatever. But then, it's like finding what your niche is. Is it,
right?
You know, like,
So I think
relationship counseling or
the way I've broken it down in my mind is like, maybe phase 1 is like self-reflection, and like, maybe I take like a strengths finder test again, or another, like, I don't know, just assessments to like refresh my memory on like, what am I good at? And like, what am I naturally gifted at? And like, does that fit with what I'm doing? And then a little bit of research to like pick a few paths, whether it's like I actually looked into, I love like personality tests and like assessments and stuff like that. And I really did love StrengthsFinder. Have you ever done that one?
Or I've never done one of those.
Are you familiar with it?
And every time I try to take a personality test, I'm like, I feel like you want me to answer this.
Oh, you try to like game it?
So, yeah. I try to game it every time. And so then I'm like, well, now I have no idea what my personality is.
I don't know who I am.
Because my personality is finding the right answer. So
your personality is winning.
Yeah, it's just competing, winning. Like,
it's
I'm going to find the right answer. It is. Like, it's funny you said. Like, that's what I mean. Like, you can read people and you can like spit back what I'm saying, because like it's funny because my husband and I are very intelligent in different ways, and sometimes I like feel like he's much smarter than me, but then like I'm like, oh no, like I was a straight A, I graduated summa cum laude, like honors, like but it's like I was like book smart and I could test well, and like so you put a test in front of me, I'm gonna ace it. That's why I'm almost like when at the beginning where I was like, oh, I want to figure out if I could do a different career and just get a certification. I was like, well, I'm not saying this to sound like cocky, but like I can, if it's a test, I can pass it. Like I can figure out how to, I can learn to the test as far as like, am I absorbing any of that shit? Probably not. But like,
am I like learning it the proper way?
Right. No.
Yeah. Right.
But my memorization and my like, I will ace a test easy.
Yeah.
But like, whereas my husband is like very intelligent and like worldly and I'm not. So it's like,
well, and it's different. It's a totally different. Yeah.
We have very different intelligence levels, but like, so like if you knew me in school, you'd be like, oh my God, you are so smart. But if you knew me like now, you're just like, oh, you know what? You know, pop culture. So it's
That's not true.
But it's just like different kinds.
That's not true. I think you are super intelligent. I've always felt that way about you. And not just like school smart, make straight A's, but like just very smart. You're very smart. I don't think you are as like interested. Okay, so you know how like you can be intelligent, you can be super smart, or you can be like educated. Like you can know a lot of things.
Right.
I just don't think you're somebody who knows.
I'm definitely not very. Yeah, I'm definitely not very.
That's not the kind of like knowledge and learning I particularly value either. Yeah. Like it's not that important to me that I am impressive with like how much things I can tell you that I remember or know. Yeah, exactly. But the way you think and the way you problem solve and the way you like analyze things is super smart. And
see, this is why you would be a good therapist or a good like career coach, is you can tell me my strengths.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, that's funny. No, I think you'd be really good at that. But so what are the steps to even
so I looked into so I really like StrengthsFinder, and I actually looked into, because I talked to an old friend of mine years ago who is like an HR leadership development leader, and I had worked with him, and I just reached out to him. This was like the most I ever did, was I like reached out to him and I just was like, hi, I have no idea what exactly I want to ask you, but I'm just really interested in like your field of work, and I think I might have a place in it, and like what would you recommend what do you enjoy about what you do? If you were me and you had this general, like this kind of interest, and I told him some of the things I had in mind, like what would you do? Anyway, and he was like, well, if you get a certification, you can become a StrengthsFinder coach. You can pay, like do a certification, and then you can go into organizations or with groups and facilitate like a StrengthsFinder session where everybody does it, and then you tell them what it means, and et cetera, et cetera. And he was like, that'll pay for itself so fast. Like this was years ago though, so I don't know the situation, but he was like, those are in such good demand that like, you could find opportunities. So I was like, that's kind of interesting. That's as far as I ever took it. And then I have had a therapist in the past who's a licensed clinical social worker, and I really liked her, and I almost wanted to be like, what do you think? Like, basically, ask her in like
Analyze
an informational interview way. Like, what do you think about being a therapist? But then I was like, that's probably weird, right? If you're my therapist to ask you that, like, do you think? Yeah. Anyway, so I never did. But yeah, I think like so I think what I want to do is pick a few paths that I think could be interesting, and then find people who are doing them that look like it looks fun, and it looks like what they are doing looks interesting, and maybe reach out to them just cold, I guess, and just be like,
what do you think about being like a recruiter? Like, do you feel like you would want to like match people with jobs? Or I know it's kind of more along the lines of career coach, but I guess that would be more of like a career coach would be more like identifying what jobs be like appropriate for someone versus finding people for the job, right?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Right. Like placing people,
right? Because my sister-in-law is she's a recruiter, and she's worked for Snapchat and TikTok, and like she's like, if you ever wanted to pick her brain, I'm sure she would be happy to talk about it. But yeah, I just wonder if that's because I feel like there's good money, especially in like software recruit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
like technical recruiting. I don't know. I feel like it's
Yeah.
actually like a good money and you can do it from home.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's
Yeah.
more like matching.
Maybe I should
I don't
look
know.
into that. I should add it to
I
my
have no
list.
idea what kind of like, I think she has an HR degree, but I don't know what.
Yeah. Kind of
That's
like
probably what you
training
mean.
certification she has or
Yeah.
whatever. So yeah, I feel like I need to like pick a few paths, research them, maybe start doing some research comparatively about like, you know, certification levels required, degrees
Right.
required. Cause like, I think that's where I've hit walls in the past. I'm like, well, I'm not going to go do that. So, and then I just like let it fizzle, you
Yeah.
know? But maybe
But that's part of your undiagnosed ADHD, man.
Yes. Thank you very much.
We decided.
But you're right. I
Actually,
think you're right.
yeah.
I get like really intense on something and then I'm just like, oh, nope.
Oh,
like
that's
swerve.
not working out.
Yeah, that's not working out. That's hard. I'm done.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh, ADHD. So maybe if I can make a goal for myself for the next month to like have a few micro goals and try to accomplish them, which could just be like have an informational call with somebody and learn about their job. Like, what do you love about it? What's challenging about it? You know, what kind of personality do you think fits well? Like, just learn about it and then see what I find out. And then I think down the road, figuring out if there's ways to like, if something is calling out to me, then like figure out if there's a way to do it at a low risk, low cost way. Like, could I find ways to kind of try it on that's like low commitment and try to like dabble in it a little bit? I don't even know what that could look like yet, but I don't know. Something like that.
It's a good challenge, but man, that's a big one. Like,
I know that's like more than a month. It's like how do I
baby
consider?
steps.
But I think
the challenge is to start to explore what's next.
Right. And it's just like take this 30 days and I think for me too, having like little goals of like, okay, I want to accomplish ABC. So I think what I'm going to try to do is research. I don't know how to like, that probably needs to be a more measurable goal, but like research job paths and then maybe do like at least one, maybe I should set the bar higher for myself, more than one, like informational
maybe different fields
call.
Like you could do like like you could talk to Allie, my sister-in-law, about recruiting. You could talk to someone in I have no other contacts in this realm. I have a friend who is a therapist, but that's like a real like real life trauma therapist, so I don't think that's the route you want to go, but maybe it's like interviews and then figure out what certifications and what,
or even or even like the career coach I talked to. That could also be a part of this. I thought about working with a career coach, but the same thing. I was like, oh, it's expensive. I mean, it was like the range was like $400 to $700, and I was like, that's a lot of money to just spend.
Yeah.
But it's investing in yourself, which I get that.
So
but
hard.
like, it's hard. So I don't know. But even becoming a career coach, like maybe just talking to one of them and just saying like, hey, what do you think about, your job? So that's my general goal. I think that's what I'm going to try to do is pick a certain number of like informational calls to do. And I have to get comfortable just like cold messaging
calling.
people again, which I haven't done in a gajillion years. But our old journalism
it'll come back.
Our old journalism skills from journalism school will hopefully come back, and I can just start sending some emails. Hello. And maybe some people will talk to me.
Would you do that? Out there listening is a career coach or recruiter or
therapist or counselor or maybe like school counselor, although I think that could be really
one
depressing.
of my best friends here is he's a high school counselor. If you wanted to talk to him,
that
and
sounds
like
it might be super stressful.
It is like it's heavy. Like he comes home, it's heavy. Like you don't even realize the things these high schoolers deal with. Like and I think back, I'm like, oh man, I was lucky. I didn't deal with that kind of stuff in high school. So it is, especially depending on like the district and the school that you land in. But so no, it is a heavy job, which is why I'm like, it's not for me, but it's for somebody. Thank God.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my goal. Find a few people, talk to them, do some research, and then at the end of the month, I'll report back like what I've learned.
I love it.
Yeah, what's next? Like what to think about.
Yeah.
And
I dig it.
I'm
excited for you. I'm excited to see what happens.
Thanks.
And if I can think of anyone that would be helpful to you, I will definitely let you know.
And same listeners, hit me up. Let
anyone.
me know.
Perfect. Cool. Okay.
So what's yours?
For mine. Okay. I think that doing cakes again has unlocked my creative side, like in a way that like, and I feel like So I decided I want to write a short story.
Yeah.
And I know that like, I remember I texted you, I was like, is this just stealing your first challenge? Because you had a writing challenge.
No.
But I'm like, hopefully it's different enough because yours is poetry and
Totally.
I want to do a short story. So I know that this challenge has, well, I guess it kicks off tomorrow? Today, even though we still have 4 days of workout challenge.
Yeah, we could wait a few days if you want.
That's fine. So yesterday I was like, I'm just gonna, because I literally have not sat down at my laptop to write something for me, like from my imagination, like honestly, since I wrote that blog. And when I wrote my blog, that was in 2009, and it went, I blogged 2009 until 2012, the day I got, like, I blogged up into when we got married. So that was the last time. And when I think back on it, I'm like, and that wasn't even like blogging from my imagination. I wasn't writing creatively. It was my real life. So like, I haven't ever built my own like story or plot or made up characters because.
But you like, it was real, your own life. But did you like embellish it a little or like make it?
No, it was just like real life aside from like I changed names, you know?
Right.
And even like a while back, I did try to like, because the blog was, it was the story of us meeting and everyone I dated in between. And we had a moment of breaking up and I slept with some other people and I was very honest in the blog. And even my husband had some blog entries in it. And like back then it was considered spicy. Looking back, I'm like, it was more of like a PG-13 situation. There was some smut, but it wasn't anything like graphic.
Yeah.
I guess that's in comparison to what I read now.
Yeah,
or some of the stuff I've read now. Right. So I did like, I think it was last year, 2 years ago, I was like, ooh, let me try to like rewrite the blog because in looking back, like I was 22. I don't remember how old I was in 2009, but I was like young. And so I was reading it back. And I'm like, has a young, I want to try to like modernize it. So I did start to like try. And then I was like, maybe I'll spice it up. And then I was like, ew, gross. No, I couldn't do it. I think because it was my story, you know, and it was just
maybe it was just
personal.
like too long ago too. Like maybe.
Yeah, it was too long ago and too
like
personal.
Fresh.
I was like, I don't need to give graphic details of me and my husband, right? Like that's weird. So I didn't do it.
You could use true things you'd experience to infuse into stories if they were like characters and that you could like distance yourself from. Right. Because like, so even if you're writing good fiction, you're writing it from like a true
what
life.
You know. And that's what I was saying is like, that was my one struggle was like, oh, there's so many things I could write, but it's too real. And at this point in my life, I don't want to put all my shit out there. Right. Like I don't want to put my life story doesn't need to be out there. Like I love doing this podcast. I love being personal on here, but like, I don't need to write the ins and outs of like, you know, marriage and family and all that. So I was like shying away from that. But then I was like, well, I don't feel comfortable writing something I don't know. Right. Like, so anyway, yesterday I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to sit down and write. So it was like an hour. It was like 40 minutes till bedtime to put my kids down. I was like, I'm just going to get my laptop out. And I cranked out 800 words. Okay. Just like, started writing and I was like, this is so fun. Like,
really?
I just like created this character, created another, to be fair, the female character is a social media manager who also bakes cakes. So like, it's not that far removed,
but that's how you do it. Like, that's not uncommon. How many books have you read where like,
I know
it's not autobiographical, but the characters
like they have
are
to, because you have to write what you want it to
have to write what you know.
Real.
Right. Yeah.
So we started cranking it out. And now this social media manager is doing social media for a very attractive celebrity chef.
Ooh.
So because I used to work for Rachel Ray's magazine and I worked for the food section of Prevention magazine. So I have interviewed a lot of chefs and gone to like cooking experiences with some like Food Network chefs and stuff like that. So I'm trying to then just take pieces of and I've worked on a reality show. And so I'm trying to like take different pieces to then like create a story that's not obviously I don't know any celebrity chefs personally that I could base this person off of, but so I'm and so like I dove right into just like a scene, right? I just started writing a scene.
I love
but I have no plot. Like, so my sister and I today were like at the gym, just like while we're working out, she's like, oh, what if this? And I'm like, oh, what if this? And we just like the whole like 45 minutes we were working out, we're bouncing off like, and then this happens. And then so like we have built multiple. Now the problem is I have like 85 plots. So so I need to like, I actually need to like framework separate ones and figure out which one I want to lean toward. I don't know. I think it would end up being a short story, maybe novella. I tried to Google like length of novellas.
Yeah.
Like 20 to 50,000 words.
Okay.
If I cranked out 800 in a night, like there's no guarantee I could do that every night. But some nights, like that was just 40 minutes of writing. So like,
well, yeah.
If I had like a good 3 hours to sit with it.
I just feel like you should call it a short story until it's a
aim
novel.
low. Yeah.
Just call it a short story, Lauren, and then it'll be a novel. Well, then you'll be a novelist.
My sister's like, we have way too many ideas. This has to be a novel. Like at this point, we have too many characters we've already developed and all these like storylines.
Totally.
So it's fun. I don't know. Like for now, I think I'm just gonna do like write some scenes and see where it takes me, and then try to put them together and find a storyline. But it was just I haven't sat down and written. But one of my other fears in this is that I've read so many books, especially so many like romance and the style, that I don't want to accidentally like mimic or like use the same wording. Because there's so many things I read in books, and I'm like, oh my God, if I have to read that again, like I have to read about how someone like brushed a piece of hair out of their face that they didn't know was there, or like let go of a breath they didn't know they were holding. I'm like, I hate reading these lines. Yeah, I hate it so much. That
everybody uses. Yeah.
And so awesome. I just like, I'm trying to be conscious of what I'm writing and making sure I'm not like, but it's hard because I've read so many books that I don't know how to make sure I'm not using exact words at all. So
I also feel like that's probably part of the process a little bit. It's like you kind of mimic the stories but you put your own stuff into it. And then maybe as you evolve, it becomes more. But also like maybe you're like one of those prolific authors who just like comes out of you once first. And then you're just like, bleh, and it's this like award-winning novel. Like, isn't that like J.K. Rowling or something? Isn't that like how she wrote Harry Potter? It just like came to her and then she just like wrote it. And then it was just like there. I could be wrong.
When I read like deep fantasy books, I'm like, what drugs were you on to write this? How did you build this world building in your head?
Yeah, that stuff is intense. Talk about like, I imagine all the like notes they have to keep and stuff to like build all of that and remember.
They like have to have a full blown atlas just to explain like where they are in this fake world. Like that stuff blows my mind. So I'm definitely not a fantasy writer. Yeah, but I was like, I think my challenge here is going to be, I'm going to write it. I don't know it might end up just being like different scenes I write. Like maybe it doesn't end up being a story, just different scenes of this character and her experience.
I think,
but I'm going to put it somewhere. I'm going to publish it. I'm putting it on here now, saying it now. I'm going to put it somewhere that if anyone wants to read it.
Yes.
We don't actually have a website, but like, we'll figure it out.
We need a Substack.
I'm just going to put it somewhere.
Maybe that's saying that.
Maybe you do. And I still don't know what it is, but
Substack. I still don't know what it is. We'll figure it out.
But like, I think that's part of the challenge is that I'm just going to put it out there. I don't care. I don't know if it's good or bad, and I'm just going to do it. And I don't know.
Perfect for Substack, Lauren. You could even okay, I don't know if you're interested in this though, but you could publish as you go. Like you could write.
I was thinking about it because that's how I used to do the blog. Like, but I think since I don't know the storyline yet,
that's tricky.
It might be hard to follow. It might be jump around.
But there could be something there. I don't know what it is. But that's so fun. But maybe if you write scenes as they come to you, and then maybe you'll start caring about what happens to the characters and like wanting certain things to happen to them, and then maybe it'll start coming together for you.
I think I just because that's one day of writing, so that's just like literally less than 1 hour.
That's
I
awesome,
just
though.
put it down, and it was so fun. I was like, man, I haven't done this in so long. Because even back in school, I never took like a creative writing course. Like, I never took a class that just like I just wrote whatever I wanted. So I think back. And I don't remember which episode, but you were talking about the writer's way, or what was that book that was just
the artist's way.
Yeah, the artist's way, where you were like, just write. It doesn't matter if it doesn't matter if anything you're writing makes sense, just write. Yeah. And so I was like, I'm just going to start and see what happens. I'm just going to build a scene and see what happens.
God, I love you. That proof that you're not ADHD, because you could just think about writing for years and then not do it. And just think about it and think about what it would take and think more about it and just keep thinking about it.
To be fair, I've had a dream to write a book forever and never did it. So
but the fact that you were just like, I'm just going to do it. Like, I'm just going to write it down. I love that because
thank you.
I want to be like that.
I instead you just need some Vyvanse. You need some Adderall.
Apparently,
just,
maybe.
Do it.
Just need to try it.
Like, last time we were like, oh, maybe that should be our challenge to get real diagnosis, right? Or whatever we have, instead of TikTok diagnosis. And then I did a little more research, and I was like, maybe I don't want an Ehlers-Danlos diagnosis, because it actually makes your life insurance and your disability insurance, if you need it, way more expensive because then you have a pre-existing condition. So I was like, maybe I don't, maybe I can just TikTok diagnose for now and not get. So
well, it just depends on what kind of support you think you could need.
Right. Because I was like, I don't have, like, it'd be one thing if, like, if my shoulder still came out of socket every 5 seconds, like, I would want a diagnosis that I have access to the right physical therapy, right? But like, there's nothing, like, having stretchy skin and weird joints right now is not, like, it's not affecting my life. So for now, we're good.
Yeah.
So I was like, writing challenge instead.
Writing challenge instead.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Well, that's awesome. I'm excited, man, to just want to do something and then do it. What a dream.
I know. I might send it to you tonight just so.
Send it to me.
Well, you have to edit the podcast tonight, so you might be busy.
Oh,
but
yeah. Send it to me and I'll read it. Well, don't send it to me because I'll read it. I'll want to read it.
And then I won't do the podcast.
And then I won't do this because
this won't come out till next Friday.
So send it to me tomorrow after I'm done. But I do want to read it. That's so exciting, dude.
Yeah.
I think you should write it.
Challenges.
I also think that the idea about, I know this is not what you maybe want to do, but I like the idea of revisiting your story, your blog story.
I know.
From like your perspective now. That's so interesting of a thought.
Well, I've thought about even, I mean, this wouldn't, like, this would be a huge spoiler alert if I ever really, not that our 9 listeners might have a spoiler alert, but I've thought about, like, taking, because in the blog, like, when I was writing the blog, I honestly wrote about every single memorable relationship, or, like, honestly, I wrote every person I slept with is in that. I changed their names, don't worry, like, but
yeah,
I think all of them know that they are in this blog and have read it. Like, they've
really
known about it.
And they know who they are.
Yeah, despite the name change. So because of that, you meet, I'm not going to say a lot of guys, but you meet a handful of gentlemen.
Gentlemen.
And so I was like, I thought a book would be really interesting if it's 2 timelines, right? Mm-hmm. You go college days / up to my 22, I think. And as you're reading this, then it skips to present day, but I don't name who the husband is.
Oh, it's like a How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, so it's like you don't know who I ended up with.
Right.
So you're reading these stories and you're probably like rooting for this guy. No, now you're rooting for this guy. No, maybe it's this one. And so like, but then it flashes to like present day, and you know that I'm married with 2 kids, and it's like kind of normal marriage life, which is kind of like, obviously way more boring than this sexy,
whatever this like steamy,
because like my blog was called Fairy Tale Beginning because it was all about that steamy meeting time, like that once upon a time, just that like right when you meet someone new and that tension and that it's so fun then, and then like marriage, but like so like that in between where you're like, well, as you're reading it, you have no idea which person and I end up with. But like anyone who knows me would obviously know. But I don't know. That was an idea I had to reimagine the blog into a book.
That also reminds me of, what's that movie with Ryan Reynolds? Have you seen it? What is it called? Definitely Maybe, I think.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, where he's like telling the story to his
plot.
Okay, so he's telling the story to his daughter about her mom. Yeah. But then he's talking about all of these past relationships. It's the same thing. And she's like, she doesn't know. Thing. Yeah. Well, it's the same concept, where she doesn't know which one it is. But it's still really interesting. Fun. I love that idea.
Yeah. So it's another thing I could
put that one on the back burner.
Yeah. We'll see.
I could see this for you, Lauren. I'm really into it.
I say that, but then like I listen to, and I know you started listening to the Bad on Paper podcast.
Yes.
So I just love them, but they're both authors. No, but as I listen to them, I get so stressed out. I'm like, oh my God, they have a draft due of their book. And like, and like as soon as they finish one, they're already
starting another one. Yeah.
Starting the next one. And like one of them's on their 3rd. And like, I've only been listening to them for a year maybe. And like they're on their 3rd. And I was like, no, I'm stressed out. So I mean,
like doing it on a deadline, like on the pressure of the time of it. Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know if it's for me, but at least I can attempt with this novella, short story.
Yeah.
And see what happens. But
totally.
It's only day 1, but I'm already enjoying it.
Fun. I love it. Okay. So your challenge is to figure out what it is, like write it to the point that it's something, and then sharing it.
My goal is to
publishing it somewhere.
Write and share. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if it'll end up being an actual story or just scenes or what, but it'll be out there.
Exciting.
Figure out where to put it.
Okay, so end of July is your deadline. Deadline. Air
deadline.
Quote. Yeah. Soft deadline. Okay. Awesome. Amazing. Okay. New challenges. We're on it. I'm so excited. We have new exciting things to work on.
So what is our
next week?
Are we
obsessed?
Did we decide that was Are We Obsessed?
Yes.
Okay.
And then we have some potential guests in the cooker for the week after next. So if you guys have any guest requests, let us know. We have some early ideas we're working on. But yeah, next week, Are We Obsessed?
Next week, Are We Obsessed? Awesome. Well,
check in.
I apologize that I was pretty buzzed through this whole thing, but I think I locked it up after our initial 20 minutes of
you're welcome.
Disaster. Yeah.
For this
entertainment.
You're
welcome for this. I should go write some more now and see what comes out.
You probably write some good stuff.
Oh, it's almost 11. I should go to bed.
You should go to bed. All right. Well, thanks for sticking with us today.
Yeah,
and stay tuned for a month from now. We will update you on these challenges, and we'll try to do some social updates maybe in between of like how it's going in the middle.
Right.
I think would be good. Which is another great reason to follow us on social media if you're not already.
Exactly.
So follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all the places. And email us if you have ideas or thoughts or comment. We're at we doing this pod at gmail.com. I have to think very hard about that.
Get it out.
And we want to hear from you. We really love hearing from you guys. So please tell us what you think because it's really helpful. Even if it's critical, we want that too.
Tell us. Be like, Lauren, you should not drink before the podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, whatever.
Or more. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, we love you guys. And
all right, love you guys.
We'll see you next week.
Until next time.
Bye.